Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I want to tell you about 6 of the biggest financial fraud cases in history. So watch the video till the end for more information. Financial fraud is as prevalent today as it was over 100 years ago, when the Italian con artist Charles Ponzi was swindling investors out of their fortunes in one of the earliest high-profile financial scams ever recorded. With talk of a major recession occurring later in 2023, law enforcement officials are increasingly concerned about more financial fraud activity, as scammers tend to rise in influence during economic downturns. So, with fresh scandals in mind from 2022, think FTX and Theranos. For starters, let's look at some of the most infamous financial fraud cases in recent history and use them as expensive examples of what can go wrong when bad characters get their hands on innocent investors' money. 3 months into 2023, the media focus on FTX has abated, even as investors still clamor to get their money back. FTX majority owner Sam Bankman-Fried and other senior executives now await trial as investigators wade through the wreckage of the biggest financial fraud case of 2022. FTX was launched in May 2019 as a trading platform for crypto investors, with Bankman-Fried as its founder. Bankman-Fried was also the driving force behind hedge fund Alameda Research, which he co-founded with his friend and business partner Gary Wang. Flush with $1.8 billion in private financing, Bankman-Fried, along with other FTX senior executives, is accused of using the money to buy plush beach homes in the Caribbean, invest in new ventures, and send money to local and national political causes. Theranos. In March 2004, Stanford University sophomore Elizabeth Holmes dropped out of school to focus on her new startup, Theranos, which set out to make blood tests more efficient, more accurate and much faster. 5 years later, Holmes linked up with a new business partner, Ramesh Sunny Balwani, who guaranteed a $10 million loan to Theranos. The company grew at lightning speed, with Theranos valued at $10 billion by 2014. By 2015, however, the company's highly touted automated compact testing device was exposed as unworkable by medical testing professionals. Soon after, federal and state regulators filed wire fraud and conspiracy charges against the company. Crushed under the weight of legal costs, Theranos dissolved in June 2018. In November and December 2022, Holmes and Balwani were both found guilty and sentenced to 11 and 12 years in prison, respectively. By March 2023, Holmes owed $25 million to Theranos ABC, a new company established by creditors, a new lawsuit alleges. She's also still free as her attorneys continue to appeal her prison sentence, which is supposed to commence in April 2023. Ivan Boesky. The 1980s were fraught with financial fraud, with Ivan Boesky among the first Wall Street traders to go to prison on insider trading charges. Boesky honed his craft as a trader in the early 80s, specializing in the lucrative arbitrage trading market. Nicknamed Ivan the Terrible, Boesky made over $200 million investing in corporate takeovers and company mergers. In 1985, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission charged Boesky with illegally profiting from insider trading. The SEC accused Boesky of acquiring stocks and futures in companies based on tips from company insiders. A year later, Boesky was found guilty of insider trading. Based on a plea agreement that involved Boesky taping phone calls with other insider trading conspirators, including Drexel Burnham Lambert's junk bond king Michael Milken, Ivan the Terrible was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. He was also slapped with a $100 million fine and ordered never to work in the securities industry again. Boesky is said to have inspired aspects of film character Gordon Gekko, played by actor Michael Douglas in the 1987 movie, Wall Street. Luckin Coffee. China-based Luckin Coffee Inc. LKNCY, is on the rebound in 2023 after years of being immersed in a legal quagmire stemming from a 2020 fake revenue scandal. The coffee giant gained visibility with a 2019 initial public offering that saw Luckin Coffee's stock rise from $17 per share to $50 in a year's time. In early 2020, however, internal financial analysts discovered the company's growth was artificially inflated due to $310 million in bulk sales to businesses linked to the company's chairman. Investigators also found that Luckin management had fraudulently engineered the purchase of $140 million in raw materials from suppliers. Shortly afterward, the company's stock was delisted from the Nasdaq index and the senior executives involved in the scandal were fired. Now back in business, under new management and trading over the counter, Luckin Coffee's stock price is up to $26.86 per share as of April 6. Its most recent quarterly revenue jumped 52% year-over-year, with a full-year revenue gain of 67% in 2022. The company opened 500 new stores in January 2023 and says it has plans for significant expansion in Southeast Asia. With total store counts of up to 8,400, the company is the largest coffee retailer in China, well ahead of Starbucks. A relisting on the Nasdaq is also reportedly in play for Luckin, although the company still has to convince regulators it's back on track, ethically and legally. Wirecard on December 8, 2022. Executives at Wirecard, a Munich, Germany-based electronic payments firm, went on trial in what media outlets called the biggest corporate fraud case in German history. Former CEO Markus Braun and two senior executives, Oliver Bellenhaus and Stefan von Erfa, all face multiple years in prison if convicted. Another Wirecard executive, January Marsalek, is on the lam and reportedly hiding out in Russia. Currently, Marsalek is atop Germany's Most Wanted list as of June 2022. Wirecard found itself in the fraud spotlight when it declared insolvency in 2020. And regulators found that €1.9 billion, $2.1 billion, was missing from the company's accounts, amid allegations from German regulators that the money never existed. Braun was arrested and Marsalek fled the country, where trial proceedings have continued in 2023. Investors can only watch as the fraud trial plays out, with little hope of ever recovering their money. Bernie Madoff, this former New York City fund manager, is long gone, passing away in April 2021 in prison at the age of 82. But the Madoff story still resonates in 2023 with the successful Netflix documentary, The Monster of Wall Street, retelling the tale of the mastermind behind the biggest Ponzi scheme ever recorded. Madoff, a former chair of the Nasdaq with close ties to government financial regulators, was already a Wall Street legend in the 1980s and 1990s. His company, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities LLC, was already the sixth largest market maker in S&P 500 stocks. Yet over the course of 17 years, Madoff, assisted by company managers and back-office staff, ran a massive Ponzi scheme that promised investors eye-popping returns. Instead, Madoff and his crew were inventing stock trades and fabricating brokerage accounts, and pocketing the investment money. By 2008, at the height of the Great Recession, Madoff's luck ran out, and a run on deposits and the resulting investigation revealed that his firm stole over $19 billion from 40,000 investors. Madoff was arrested and charged with 11 counts of fraud, and he was found guilty and sentenced to 150 years in prison in June 2009. I hope you like this video very much. So subscribe to our channel to get more updates like this. See you in the next video, in which we will bring you a new information which has become to be very important for you. That's why it is very important for you to watch the next video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment and share.